To Muslims, the pilgrimage to Mecca, the Hajj, is the most important moment in their life. But Muhammad and his followers were never able to because of the Meccan rivalry with the Muslims at the time. But Muhammad had a vision. He would go with 1400 of his followers to Mecca. They took a different path in order to avoid anyone trying to stop them from reaching Mecca. When he got to Mecca, however, they showed a very important point. The all-important pilgrimages, the reason why Muhammad and his followers were no longer allowed to come to Mecca, were safe even under Muslim rule. Even if all of Arabia would convert to Islam, they would still have to come to Mecca once in their life. The rich lives of the Meccan leaders was not under threat from Islam. Emissaries were sent to and from Mecca. The Meccans by now, while not beaten, were definitely demoralized. They signed a treaty where they agreed to end hostilities, the deferral of Muhammad's pilgrimage to the following year, and agreed to send back any Meccan who emigrated to Medina without permission from their protector. Many Muslims were unhappy with this treaty, but over time they saw the great value it had. Meccans would see how much wealth the Muslims were bringing them with their religious belief of having to perform the Hajj once in their lifetime. On the other hand, it allowed Medina to grow in strength. During this time, Muhammad sent letters to many of the rulers in Arabia, including one to the Byzantine Empire and the king of Persia. But alas, peace did not last. Two tribes had started a fight. One tribe allied to the Muslims and the other to the Meccans. Muhammad sent a message to Mecca with three options. Either they pay blood money for the slain allies of Muhammad, break their alliance with the tribe, or declare the peace treaty null. The Meccans chose number 3. Muhammad gathered an army of 10,000 men, the largest Muslim army ever assembled until then. Abu Sufyan came to meet with Muhammad personally to try to get to some arrangement, but to no avail. Mecca lies in a valley, surrounded by black rugged hills with 4 passages leading into the city. Muhammad divided his forces in 4, one for each of the passes. The tactic was to attack Mecca from all sides at once, so the defenders couldn't focus all their strength on one side. And if they encountered stiff resistance on one side, they would still have 3 more they could launch a successful attack on. And that's exactly what happened. One column faced some resistance. The other 3 were peaceful and bloodless. Abu Sufyan surrendered the city to Muhammad and converted to Islam, conceding that the Meccan gods had proven powerless. Muhammad visited the Kaaba and pulled a Jesus when he and his companions broke all the idols and their gods. He gathered the people of Mecca at the Kaaba and proclaimed, "There is no God but Allah." And from then on, leaders would come to him rather than the other way around, with many curious about this new religion. But with new power came new enemies. Tribes had gathered to subdue Muhammad and were promptly defeated at the Battle of Hunayn. Then, northern Arabia adopted anti-Islamic policies. Muhammad gathered an army of 30,000 men to march on them, but half returned home on the second day. Muhammad did not engage with hostile forces, but did receive the submission of some local chiefs in that region. The year is now 632 CE. Muhammad is 62 years old. He finally completed his first true Islamic pilgrimage, setting a precedent for the great pilgrimage that Muslims undertake every year. Muhammad knew his time would come soon, that his life was about to come to an end. He held a farewell sermon at Mount Arafat, east of Mecca. In the sermon, he advised his followers not to follow certain pre-Islamic traditions, such as old blood feuds, disputes on tribal grounds, and that no white should hold superiority over black, nor black hold superiority over a white, except in piety and good action. He instructed his male followers to be good to women, and told them that they were entitled to discipline their wives, but should do so with kindness. Somehow. He upheld the sacredness of 4 lunar months each year and proclaimed, "Today I have perfected your religion, and completed my favors for you, and chosen Islam as a religion for you." This is how Muslims saw Muhammad, the last of God's prophets, who had perfected the old religions of Judaism and Christianity. Muhammad passed away a few months later, falling ill with fever before he died, resting his head on one of his wife's laps. Muhammad was buried where he died, in his house. Today on that spot stands the Green Mosque of Medina. In life, Muhammad had unified much of Arabia. He had created a new religion that today has 1.5 billion followers. and it led to the downfall of Byzantium over 800 years later, the last of the Roman empires. After Muhammad, the Islamic Caliphate expanded from Arabia all the way to where Pakistan and Spain lie today. But with Muhammad's death, disagreement broke out over who his successor should be. This was a dispute between two men, Abu Bakr, Muhammad's friend and collaborator, or Ali ibn Abi Talib, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law. This dispute over Muhammad's successor split the Islamic faith in two, creating the Sunni and Shia split we see today among Muslims. And so we come to the end of this series. And I hope that now that we're at the end, you understand how Islam came to be. I tried throughout this series to tell the story of Muhammad, so that we who are not Muslims can learn about the beliefs held by over a fifth of the world population. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. My next video will be about the history of prosthetics, and will be a continuation of my most popular video, the history of amputations. If you want to see those and other episodes as soon as they come out, press the subscribe button. I upload a new video every 2 weeks.